Hello and good morning. Let's take a look here. Well, you will have a test this weekend. Make sure you do it. It's going to be from Friday to Monday. Yes, maybe Sunday. In any event, let's take a look. We know 0 through 9 count as numbers, but 10 is A, B, C. This is B, so B is 11. So what we have is base 12 here. So we're adding. So when you add, remember that B is 11. Mark that down. In any event, what you're going to do is add this up. When you add this up, you get 13. Well, 12 goes into 13 one time, so you're going to carry that 1. But you're left with the remainder of 1. See, 13 divided by 12 goes one time. That's the one you're going to carry. And then the remainder is 1. And that's the one you're going to leave behind. Okay, make sure you understand that. All right, so when you do this right here, now you have 12. That's 20. But 12 goes into 20 one time with 8 left over. So we're going to carry 8. And actually, I put this 1 in the wrong spot. So 13, put down the 1, carry 1. That's 12. 12 and 7 is going to make 19. And 12 goes into 19 one time with 7 left over. So the remainder is 7, and you're going to carry the 1. Okay, so be careful with that. Put the remainder down here. Let me get rid of this other one right here. Okay, that makes it a little better. This right here is 9, so that's 14. 12 goes into 14 one time, so you're going to carry 1 with 2 left over. So it's going to be that right there. When you subtract, you have base 12. You can't take 8 from 5. So when you borrow from this, which is 11, right, B, it's going to turn into A, which is 10. So I'm just going to put a 10 there, and I'm going to carry my 1. And actually what you're carrying is 12. So 12 and 5 makes 17, and 17 minus 8 is 9, base 12. 10 minus 7 is going to give you 3, and 8 minus 5 is going to give you 3. And that's the way you work those, okay? Your test this weekend, test number 2, is going to be from Friday to Monday, I think. Make sure you check, okay? All right, today's work is right here. If you get stuck, ask the questions. I think we did 1 through 15 on Thursday. And don't forget, when you turn in your homework, which is still open, the very first page is Albert I.O. Albert I.O. notes or problems with work. And then Monday through Thursday. All right, let's turn our attention now to college algebra. Let's take a look here. All right, so a few things going on here. You have a test this weekend, okay? Also, your homework, the very first page has to be Albert I.O. And then Monday through Thursday. If that first page is not Albert I.O., you will not get credit because I want to see that first. Okay, let's take a look at these here. Let me see if I can focus it a little better. All right, so this one right here we know is a step, and a step looks something like this. So go ahead and draw that. So we know that's the way it looks. Okay, open on that one. So we're going to put some points in here. Let's start with 0. Let's go to 0.9. Let's go to 1. Let's go to 1.9. All right, so let's see what happens. You put 0, you're going to get 0. If you put 0.9, you're still going to get 0. You're going to round down. If you put 1, you're going to get 1. If you put 1.9, you round down, all the way down, and it's 1. Let's see how that looks. Over 0, up 0. Over 0.9, which is here, and up 0. So that's going to be open here, like that. And then at 1, it jumps up to 1. And then from 1 to 2, it's going to be open like that. So that's the way this one looks. There it is. That's your step. All right, this one right here is absolute value. You know the absolute value looks like a V. Okay, so we're going to put some points in here. Let's do -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Absolute value is always positive, so 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. Let's see how that looks. -2 up 2, -1 up 1, 0, 0, over 1 up 1, over 2 up 2. This one is a V, and it looks like that. Okay, now somewhere you're going to have to get on YouTube and figure out how to graph a step function. I know they have it in there in your TI-84, I'm sure, and absolute value. It's going to help you on your test. Today we're moving on. I want to show you the inverse because this caused some trouble. Students had trouble with this last year. So copy down this function here. I think this is 2.7. I'm not positive. In any event, the way you do the inverse is you switch the x and the y. So you put the x here and you put the y up here. And once you switch it, all right, so step one is the switch. Then you got to solve for y. So I'm going to multiply by 4 here. And when I multiply by 4, I get y is equal to 4x. So now I have the inverse function. This is the original function, and this is the inverse function. Okay, on your graphing calculator, let's graph these two and see how they look. All right, let's move on. Copy this one down here. We're going to find the inverse. You have to switch the x and the y. So put x equals 5 over y minus 2. Now, if you're good at solving equations, this is not going to be too bad. If you have trouble, then you're going to have trouble with it. Excuse me. So what you want to do is get y by itself. Let me think about this. Since you have a fraction here, you could go ahead and make this, well, let's just multiply by y minus 2, because that's going to get rid of the denominator. So put y minus 2, like that. This cancels. Now you're going to divide by x. So you're going to get y minus 2 is equal to 5 over x. Right? 5 over x. And then you're going to add 2. So you're going to get y equals 5 over x minus or plus 2. And there it is. That's your inverse. So put an I right here. Now, again, if you can't solve an equation, then you're going to have trouble with this section. All right, on your graphing calculator, graph this one and graph this one, and they should be inverses of each other. All right, let's move on. I'm going to jump down to this last one right here. So copy this one down. Okay. Now switch the x and the y. So put x equals 5 minus y over 3y plus 2. Okay, so we switched the x's and the y's, and now we've got to get y by itself. So if I had to work this one, what I would do first is clear my denominator. So I would do 3y plus 2 here and 3y plus 2, and then this cancels. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and have this. Like that. All right, now let me think here a minute. All right, so what I'm going to do at this point is try to get y by itself. So I'm thinking, what's the best way we can do this? If I divide by x, then is that going to complicate things? If I distribute, is that going to complicate things? So let's see. Let's just try something. Let's just go 3xy plus 2x is equal to this. Like that. Then let's move the y over here. So we're going to have 3xy plus y, and then I'm going to move the 2x over here. So I'm going to get 5 minus 2x. Okay, so what I'm doing is separating the x's and y's. I'm going to factor out a y. So I get y times 3x plus 1 is equal to this. And then I'm going to divide by 3x plus 1, and I'm done. that's the inverse. Again, if you have trouble solving equations, it's going to be a little hard, so make sure you ask for help. Here's today's work. Make sure you check your answers. Have a good morning.